Testing 1, 2. Okay, so you want to do another drill or? Yeah. So, one of the things that we do a lot in traditional martial arts is repetition, and we do the same movements over and over again. And for some people, it could appear to be, mundane. It becomes kind of boring. It's like I'm not learning anything new. But actually, what's happening is your body is learning. And regardless of whether you know it or not, that your body evolves. And what evolves is the mind-body relationship. So one of the things that fascinates people is, when you practice martial arts, how do you develop power? How do you develop, accuracy of movement? How is this applied if it's used as a technique? And, the truth of the matter is that you have to do it enough for your body to discover. And what it discovers is, how to create power without total muscular strength. And how is that done? It's done by a transition, how you link your body together, because our body, I call it the summation of components. So if each one of your components, say your arm and your torso and your leg, is working in unison, then each one of those areas can create a force. So if you take those forces and you put it together, add them together, the summation of those components, then there's a result. That's how we create power. And, a lot of times when people do things, especially when you first start to learn martial arts, you do isolated movements. So what's an isolated movement? You're relying only on the arm strength. You're relying on one side. You're relying on, capitalizing on what you think you see. But you're not using your legs. You're not using your torso. You're not using your waist. So that comes into the concept of 5 coordinations. The hands, the eyes, the body, the waist, and the stance. So those 5 coordinations is actually something that we practice consistently throughout, your training. And it doesn't really matter at the beginning stage if you understand it. As you evolve, things will start to make sense. So the hand-eye coordination is, exactly that. We learn visually, but then at the same time, what information we take in through the eyes is stored up here. It's not always understood in the beginning, but once we begin to understand it, we can see, how things come together and how it works. Another thing that is overlooked, though maybe we not realize, is gravity. Gravity is something that we use a lot of. So that comes into play when we get into a stance and we sink. A lot of gravity is used in creating forces. If you play other sports, you know that, like golfers, they use gravity to get that club to accelerate. Where does it accelerate? It accelerates on a downstroke because it free falls. Well, we do the same thing. When we're in a stroke like this and we drop down like this, we can bring it down kind of tense, doesn't have acceleration, doesn't create a force. But if we sink and we turn, then we create a force. And that force is tied to the arm, to the torso, to the twist, to the leg. So if you're accelerating in the arm and you're accelerating on the turn and you're accelerating into your stance, you're creating a tremendous amount of force. If you add a little bit of strength to it and direct it, then it becomes even more powerful. If you put a lot of strength in it and you time it correctly, it's can be pretty damaging when you hit. But the problem is that it takes time for that to happen. And a lot of times people think strength is just muscular strength. That's really what we call dead strength. Live strength is through action. So when we twist and we throw a punch, all we do is have to turn to create the momentum in the direction of that force. Because the turning of the waist will create that. The turning of the stance will create that. And the position in the elbow will help create the acceleration. So all of those become pretty important. So that's why we call the hand, the eye, the body, which is your posture. You know, horse stance, go to leaning stance. Those are different postures. The waist is the twist. You have to turn. The waist actually connects the upper body to the lower body. Without your torso, you really can't connect the arms. In fact, your arms would have nowhere to hang if you didn't have this piece. So this piece connects the two pieces, and they have to work as a coordination. So we turn this way as one direction, we turn this way as another direction. That's in striking. When we use a block, it turns. It also creates, say, from down to up and from left to right, if I'm going in that direction. It creates a direction of force, but that's circular motion. And then we have, you know, linear motion that's created. So that's why when we do all these drills that Minor takes you through, it's really to get your body to understand what's going on. And all those transitions will end up in your form, the sequences that you're learning. And, you know, there's another reason why we do sequences and why we do form, but we'll do that, you know, after he finishes drill. I'll explain a little of that when we get there. Okay, you want to go through some more drills? You know, a couple of more. So all these drills, you notice that they were extracted, or they're from your form, or these are developed to help your form. So yeah, either anyone whichever one you want. So that's our sliding step and punch. That's the most basic thing in the elbow. So yeah, okay, ready? Chun kill, right? Punch, elbow, strike down, back fist, chun kill, sliding step, reach behind, drop down, and back fist. Chun kill, sliding step, elbow, dropping down, and back fist. So let's just take those three movements and kind of look at them and try to understand what or how we create, say, a block and how it works. Say if your opponent throws a punch and you step back, this is your starting position. When you intercept the hand, it's not blocked yet. It's still coming through, right? So you have to move it this way. Now, how far do you move it over it? It's really, you only have to move it till it misses you. So that's what a block does. A block is just obstructing the technique. But because we're in this position, I have to turn my body like this. So when I turn the body, actually I create a position. That's your posture. So how it works is I do this. So because I'm doing this, I'm loading up my hand, and the next thing I'm going to do is punch. So that's what happens, and you punch. If I did this and that, you could see that it's broken. So what has to happen is your right and left sides have to work as a relationship. So if I'm standing here and he punches, I just have to do, and then I punch like this. Now in form, we pull back. But in application, you don't actually have to pull back because you stay connected. And this connection allows you to realize where this arm is after you deflected it. But we don't deflect it with force. We don't hit it over there and then do that, because this is a waste of strength, and you also don't have control. If you block softly, then you have control to grab or to follow up with the next movement. So just to give you a sample, if I go like this and I go like this, that's something that you're learning in a second form. This is a diagonal strike. Sometimes you step in because you need the distance. Sometimes I'm going to use the twist step like this, right? And this comes like that. Now so we just talked about turning. We just talked about gravity. We just talked about summation of components, right? So if I go like this and I twist from here, there's the twist. There's the power from the twist. there's the power from the downward movement from free falling, and here's a sinking in the stance. That's how power is generated, and you can see if the movement and the stroke is completely focused, then the force really is ending right there. It doesn't end over there, because the point of impact would be anywhere along this line, but the follow through is where the energy could release, the power of that strike, and it's strong enough, you know, to damage your opponent's joint, because what you're striking is here. This is bone, which is actually hard, you know, as hard as your bones can be, and then this is a joint, and that's connective tissue. That's a soft area, and that actually has nerves. So those are the areas you would strike. But anywhere along that area can be used to deflect. Okay, so that's what the action is. You strike, you're here. Now if you learn this, then that's a double block. Then that's really something that follows up from there. But in this drill, when we went like this, where's the power come from this? We say we have to extend. So the power from the punch to the elbow comes from this sliding step. When you take your sliding step, there's momentum from body and weight, but you're also moving in. So there's where the power comes from there, right? Now once you strike here, you have a strike downward like this. Where does the power come from? It comes from gravity, it comes from direction, and it comes from the fact that your body's folding over. So you have a downward direction of force, free falling, and an action that's like that because your arm actually swings in that direction. It doesn't swing out there, because the further away from your body you are, the less structure you have, less leverage you have. So from here to here to here is the most direct motion. So where do you strike? When you elbow like this and you strike, you're striking to the groin area or the stomach if that's there, and then you lift again, right? So this is going up, and then what happens when you get to the top? It goes down. So a back fist goes down, and what happens? You have a directing of this force in the same plane as that motion. It's close enough to your body to be streamlined, and then you have gravity. Gravity is capitalized on the fact that once I get to here and I start to descend, you see the hand coming down. So the hand has force here, but where else is there force? The elbow is going down, that's sinking the elbow, and the body is covering. So when the body goes from here to here, that creates another downward force, right? Because your body is coming over. And that coming over with this is a summation of those components. So if you understand that strategy of how to develop strength, your body has to be coordinated, has to be synchronized. You can't develop this with just pure strength. Why can't you develop with pure strength? Because movement is a motor skill, and a motor skill is developed between the mind and your musculature, because that's what your neurons do. Your motor neurons actually control what the action is. So what you're controlling is muscle contractions, and muscle contractions control skeletal structure. So the control of that is actually how we generate forces, and we constantly evolve because of that, practicing it over and over. We only learn it through repetition, because we're creatures of habit. Everything that we do over and over again, we discover that this is how it should be done. And if you do it long enough, it figures out the correct way of doing it. But finding out the correct way could take you forever if you're trying to figure out every little thing. So that's what these drills do, and that's what this explanation helps you with. So you begin to understand. Without an understanding, you really can't evolve, because you don't have any goal. You don't have the understanding. So all this stuff that we're doing is really in support of progression, so that you can actually advance understanding what you're learning. And it becomes really something that's pretty deep in as far as understanding body mechanics, leverage, physics, everything that's involved in science, why your body does what it does, physiology. It's all tied together in how we move, and how important it is to learn to move correctly. So it says prevention of age-related degeneration. Not everybody here is a youth, except for Woody. Everyone else is, adult age. Well, Max is still kind of young, but Iris is moving on, so she's going to be adult pretty soon. But they're still young. Ace is still about that same college level. But once you get into the real world, then we see what battles we really fight, right? Anyways, okay. So let's go back to that's too philosophical. Okay, let's go back to those drills. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so that's what you should bring into your forms eventually. But to avoid the stiffness and the rigidity of movement, you have to kind of get a little bit soft, get a little fluidity, and get some coordination. All right, ready? Go. Don't forget that sliding step. Boom. The sliding step is important. Boom. And the elbow sliding step. That's it. Go. And you go back the other way. Yeah. So the sliding step is important to get as a natural instinct to just make that step, because that's where people get stuck. You block and then you don't know how to move, and you don't know how far you need to punch. So as you evolve, you're not only developing the motion, you develop perception in space and how far you can go. How far do I know that this is boom going to there without hitting him, and knowing when the power is going to be finished? It's because you know your range of motion and you can judge that. So it's really something that is pretty amazing how you can, without knowing it, you're developing. It's kind of like a silent training, but it's there. Okay, let's go. Boom. That's it. Boom. Boom. Yeah. What you do?
Yeah.
What did you do? You pulled it?
I pulled it doing 6'4" a little bit.
Where is it?
Like right here.
You want to lie here for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah. On your back, on your stomach, on your front, on your front. Yeah. All right. No, just like this. Yeah. In here.
Yeah.
Right there. Hurt. Yeah. so right in through here, you.
I think I just need to stretch it out.
Yeah, when you do those kicks, right? The important thing is it's a combination of letting go, but it's also a combination of don't try to pull it down too fast, because there's a conflict. And if you do that, the muscles wants to tense, and then you pull through it. That's how you're gonna get hurt. So you really have to, like when you do, because you're pretty loose already, so you just let it go. Let it go, but let it come back by itself. Don't try to pull it down, because when you do that, the muscle is actually might be timed wrong, and then you're gonna end up pulling it. So do all that overextension stuff. Let it keep as loose as possible. But you just focus your toes. If you have to curl it back, when you hook your foot back like that, it's going to be pulling on where your knee is.
Yeah.
When you point your toe, it gives you more extension. Yeah. See how you. Yeah. Yeah. See, walk around a little. Get it. Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah. Keep it light. Yeah. Keep it light. Yeah. If you put ice on it, actually, it's not good right now, because you want to keep it warm, so then get the circulation in there. Ice is good for your joints, for the inflammation. So you want me to work with Jeff, because he finished, right? You finished? Oh no? Oh, you both at the same place? Yeah. You want?
This is his first time doing the
Yeah, so I could do the butterflies with him, because he didn't get to so I'll work with Jeff, yeah. We'll pick up where you left. You pick on this side. You want to go through the whole thing from the beginning?
Sure.
Yeah. That way, then we'll pick up with the butterflies, all right? Okay, so we're here, right? So you pass through, strike, lift, elbow, dragon, cross step, spread the hands, good, turn, palm strike, same as before. So all these palm strikes, this is a cutting hand essentially. Hook, press, kick, jump back, thrust down, open, like this, chop. So when you open, this is not back to the waist now. It's a little bit, maybe elbows about waist. Yeah, so this there. So this is here. Oop, can you relax? Yep, yeah. Okay. And then chop. Lift. Twist, put you in, yep, kick. Phoenix eye. And this was a punch you guys were working on. Sliding step, punch, reach over, toe out. Elbow, step up, horse stance, yeah. Drop down, lift up, strike down. And then you go into the knee stance, the leaning, yeah. And then you're gonna put this hand here, repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, palm, scoop, press, kick. Okay, then we jump back, thrust, and thumb in. So when you thrust, put your thumb in like that. Yeah, and then open, chop, twist stance, and kick. So and then we're here. All right, and then we're here. And then we turn to a leaning stance, step, cross stance. This hand does this, this hand gets to here. Step forward and push. So that's your butterfly palm with a cross step. Okay, we'll do it again. Ready? Phoenix eye. 1, 2. Okay, again. So this is like a circle that's just wrapping waist level, and then roll the elbows like this. Step up. This is right through your center, cutting hand. Turn your shoulders. Now you're in a side position, horse stance, and push. And yeah, don't turn the hands. Just from here, push. Leave this left hand on top. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's try that again. From here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then we do another one. It goes this way. Step, turn. Step, around. Step, and push. Yeah, so that's your right and left, left and right butterfly palm with the cross step. Okay. So in video, that's going to be a little trickier to follow. Yeah. So when you hear 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll try it again. 1, 2, 3, push. 1, 2, 3, push. Horse stance, low block, and uppercut. So that's a leaning stance uppercut, right? Then there's one on this side. Right, so that's an uppercut on the back leg. You know, that's a lot, but the butterfly is more complicated, so we'll get that down. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, oop. Yeah, 4. Just remember on the left side, the left's on top. When we go right side, right's on top. I'll show you, ready? Step, 1, yeah, 2, low, upper hand, right's on top. See, right's on top. Okay, we passed through the center, went into a horse stance in the corner. We would low block with a fist, uppercut with the fist, step, low block, uppercut. There we go. Yeah, it's a lot to work on there. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and good. try it. Ready? Phoenix eye, good. Ready? Pivot to leaning. So one way to know that we're going to that corner, right? So open this foot, right? And then bring the hands here. Open this foot and then swing around with the back foot. Then we step. This goes to the waist. This goes to the shoulder or the underarm. And then we're here. We can push. You cross here. You scoop this way. You step around. 1, 2, 3. Okay, if we do a cross block, that's this. 1, and cross your arms. 2, cross your arms. The uppercut's pretty easy. That's more like doing that. But the other one's a little, yeah. So you bring your hands down. Yeah. So set that up. Go in, so feet and fingers go together. Cross, flip and flip. Step and push. Cross and turn, flip and here, step and push, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Like this, both hands are like this. Yeah. So 2 concentric arms, 2 concentric circles. Yeah. Now we didn't do the footwork, we just kind of look in the mirror. It would look like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you want to copy that motion? So just turn, turn, and push. Turn, turn, and push. 1, 2, 3. So essentially all it is 2 circles. All you're doing is, actually it's 1 here and 1 here, 1 here and 1 here. But when you add the feet, it gets a little bit more complicated, right? So you're going this way. So actually we go this way first and then turn to here and go back to that same side. Then we go this way, and go back to the same side. So this is going to your left, then we're here. It's on. And push. So that's what building timing, coordination is. And the tremendous coordination is that your limbs are working together and they complement each other. So it's actually, improves a lot of synchronization of the body. So it's pretty important, to stay agile. And it keeps your mind agile too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll do that with the legs, right? Ready? 1, 2, 3. 4. Whoop. Okay, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's go from here, right? 1. Again, ready? 1. Yeah. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yep, you're right. Yep. Turn, twist, step around. Bring that to the, yeah, you got it. Yeah, and then you step. Then you step in that corner, low block, cross block, step to this corner, low block, and then, yeah, punch over to here. Because this side's not used to twisting that way, the body has to get accustomed to that. Because you're used to turning this way, but now when you turn this way, it feels a little different. Yeah. Leaning stance. That's it. Good. Sit, good. One more step. Horse stance to leaning. Cross step. Palms down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, no. Other side. Yeah. Step forward and push. Yeah. Good, yeah. Almost, yeah. It's over here. We break each hand down. It lets you're going to have a lot of time to think about it on the way home. You're going to say, oh. Yeah, yeah. That's it. His side, trapping.
You gotta do this side first.
Yeah, and then water. Water, yeah, water, water. Sweet, yeah, and this is palm down too. Yeah. Yeah. Step. Push. Back again.
Just for air conditioning, I turned it up.
I turned it up.
Turned up the air conditioning.
I did it. Higher?
I said you did. It wasn't this cold this morning.
Oh. Well, you were hot this morning. When you came in, you was, yeah.
In my house?
You just came out of the air conditioning car, so, no?
No, I don't
Oh.
turn the air conditioning on that high. I mean, my house is
Yeah.
100 degrees, so, except for the basement.
So that's why it feels.
I've been working down in the basement.
I have it's about the same temperature actually. 70. That's it. Good. And trap. Another side. Yeah. Yeah. The reason is when you're here, block. You see your hand is actually that's so you don't have to turn completely like this. It's like this. See, you don't see this action here. You can't. You actually can't just turn. You gotta. Pop. That we need the parallel. The parallel. Phew. Okay, ready? Is the bell getting weak? Didn't hear it, huh? I think the batteries are going. All right, ready? Okay, good. Looking good. It didn't rain yet. Okay, we'll line up.